What I want to talk about is, how we protect our pets in this kind of weather. So yesterday, I think we talked about laryngeal paralysis. So those dogs who have respiratory problems already, this heat is literally killer for them. So, really, really be careful with those dogs. These guys with the brachycephalic faces, and our guys' faces are not near as short as some of those pugs and Bostons and Brussels Griffons and the English toys are, well, Shane is pretty short nosed and crooked. We really have to be careful with these guys. I mean, I stepped outside at 6:45 this morning, and it's a steam bath, and the humidity hasn't really kicked in yet for this weekend. So, um, you know, think about how you feel when you're out there, and would you want to go out at noon in this heat and humidity and go for a run? Would you do that? No, you wouldn't. So
I saw people out running yesterday.
it wasn't as humid yesterday though, but there are some people who will go out and exercise in this heat, and then you have to wonder how many of them are home having a heat stroke. So really push fluids, and if your pet is not a big drinker, really, really push fluids. So maybe add a little bone broth to their water, or add something that's a little bit flavorful. Give them slices of melons. Watermelon is excellent. Anything that's really high moisture, add a little extra water in their food bowls at mealtime. We need to push the fluids on these guys, and we need to. If you have pets with heart conditions, think about that. They cannot be out in this heat. It's too stressful for them. Also, think about where you're walking them. How hot is that sidewalk? So I saw somebody made a post this morning, and it said if it's 95 degrees outside, the pavement is 130 degrees. So think about that. Think about taking your pets out in the car. If they're in the back seat and your air conditioning is not as good in the back seat, you don't have vents back there, they're going to overheat. So, not the best time to take your pet on an adventure with you. So, in our car, like Friday, it's going to be 100 degrees here, and we're taking all these guys to the groomer on Friday. Well, our car actually has air conditioning vents in the back for these guys, and I will turn theirs higher than I will ours, and I will have it blowing directly on them because we've got kids with short noses and heart conditions. You need to make sure that they're nice and cool. If you're taking them places with you, bring extra water with you, bring a water bowl, make sure that you can keep them hydrated. So when we were in North Carolina for my photo shoot back in April or May, yeah, I think it was, yeah, it was May. Um, Hugh, while I was getting hair and makeup done, took Pookie and George for a little walk. I mean, literally a short walk, fairly shaded, and had to come up a short hill. Pookie got overheated because she was the dog with heart problems. She got overheated. She was turning purple. Hugh sent me a text message and said, I'm on my way to the pet store. I've got to find water and a water bowl for Pookie. And then he sat her in the car with the air conditioning blowing directly on her because he saw very quickly how overheated she got in North Carolina. It was hotter than it was here. So think about those things. Walking the dogs in this heat, think about the pavement. Either put boots or some sort of protection on them, or walk them on grassy surfaces that are not going to be as hot. Really think about what's going on.
Wait till dusk.
Well, sure, walk them early in the morning and late in the evening. So our guys, they haven't even had breakfast yet, but they've been outside before it gets hot. After breakfast, they'll go out. They'll go before it gets hot. And then they're going to hang out inside all day. We've got pee pads. They can use those if it's excessively hot. Or we can carry them out to the grassy area in the shade, do a quick piddle, and get our butts back in here. So really think about it. Oh no, cooling coats, that's a good idea. Cooling mats are a good idea. Any of those kinds of things. If they get overheated, take a cool, damp towel and wrap that on them for a few minutes. Just remember to take it off after a few minutes so then they don't overheat. Okay, everybody have a